Chicken, chicken, chick! 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 While the chickens and everybody else finishes their supper, I thought I'd do a really quick, hopefully quick, update on the garden. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately of people, especially up north, cleaning up their gardens and getting them ready for winter, and they're talking about snow. Well, here in Texas, it's hot. I'm wearing shorts, and, well, they're talking about a cold front next week, so I may put slacks on next week if it gets cold enough, like they say it will. But right now, I'm still in shorts, and my garden isn't even, I'm not even thinking about stopping. So I thought I'd just go real quick about how the garden has done this year. Now, it's actually been a strange year in that a lot of what I planted, I may have planted multiple seeds and only one sprouted. That was the case with the kale. I planted I must have planted a couple dozen kale seeds. I got one kale. Planted a couple dozen spinach seeds. I got no spinach. It's just over and over again that happened. It's been a very strange year. Now this lettuce, it has done very good. I've gotten a lot of lettuce and I've let it bolted, and I don't know. I've got a lot of sprouts down here, and I don't know if that's lettuce sprouts or not. I did recently plant green peas. I love green peas. And so in this bed, the green peas are doing fantastic. Though I planted green peas there too, and nothing sprouted there. So I don't know. What the deal was there, because in each of these holes I planted 2 seeds, and in some holes 3 seeds. So I don't know what the deal was there, but hopefully I'll get a green pea harvest before it does get a freeze. And we may get a freeze in November. Usually we do have a freeze sometime in November or December. But honestly, it could just be like a couple hours overnight, and it warms up the next day. So it's usually not anything too bad. But having said that, I don't know if some of these sprouts, little green patches, I know are weeds. But there's a few, and I'm not sure if it's the lettuce or the green peas, because I did plant a bunch of green peas over here too. So we'll see. And I planted another harvest of lettuce over here, and it's doing well. In fact, I need to get stuff to make salad and start harvesting. A lot of the bottom leaves, like over there, I fed those to the rabbits. Here's another, I planted a whole bunch of green beans, and all I got was this one plant. Now I've had about 4 meals off of this one plant, and there's probably enough to make another meal. They're getting a little big enough to, some of them are still too small to harvest, but a few are big enough to harvest. But that's my only green bean plant. But hey, I got one. And for some bizarre reason, no matter what I planted in this area, I planted pea seeds, I planted green bean seeds, I planted kale, I planted all sorts of things. Nothing is ever not getting sprouts in that area, and I don't really know why. But last month, I planted some more cucumbers, because my cucumber plant over there, again, I planted like 3 or 4 seeds and only one sprouted. And that plant's looking peaked and stuff, so I had, I wanted to see if I could get a fall harvest. Well, I planted a bunch of seeds over there. None of them sprouted. This one has sprouted. So maybe it will get big enough and I can get some cucumbers before our first freeze of the year. We'll see. I planted these 2 zucchinis for a fall crop. I think I planted them in August and I have already been harvesting off of them. I keep picking off these leaves. They just keep growing and growing and growing, and I keep harvesting. For some reason, nobody will eat them. I don't get it. Eventually, they disappear when I feed them to the chickens, but I've tried the goats, and they ignore them. I've tried the rabbits. Rabbits won't eat them. I don't get it. I would think zucchini plant leaves would be great. I know the first year I lived here, I had a zucchini out in front of the house, and the deer ate it. Can't get anybody to eat these plants. I don't know why. If you remember, in the beginning of the summer or the spring, I had a store-bought sweet potato that sprouted. It's doing great. I have no idea if any baby sweet potatoes are growing in there or not. When I finally get around to harvesting and looking, or at least looking, I'll find out. But I just water it. I haven't really looked to see what's growing underneath. Now, last spring, I also, besides the rock bed, I planted here. I planted several zucchini plants. I actually got 2 plants. This one has produced quite a bit of fruit for me. Still not a very good, I would have liked more, but it was enough to share. This plant never flowered, and nobody can tell me why. But at least I got 2 plants. I planted a bunch of cucumbers. This one grew, and I have picked quite a few. I would have liked to make some bread and butter pickles or something. Never got enough cucumbers at any one time to make pickles, so haven't done that. Tried to plant some more here. I had 3 seeds in a row. And then some seeds over here. None of them sprouted. And I moved the hay aside. Didn't do it. They just didn't. I don't know if these were bad seeds, old seeds. I know I got a bunch of seeds from the dollar store. I don't know what the deal is. They just didn't sprout. The butternut squash. Planted, I think, like a foot apart or something. Only one grew. I am getting a little bit of crop. I know I've got these 2. Ooh, something is trying to eat this one. Ooh, this one is dead. This one, time to bring this one in. And I think I'm going to, see if I can salvage it. I may have, honestly, I wouldn't know if I have any more of these growing on here. Oh, I do. Here's another one. Never saw that one before. So I have at least 2 more besides this one if it's not ruined. We'll see. But still, I don't know why they're so small and stuff. And then I planted in the beginning of summer a blue Hubbard squash. I found some seeds that somebody had sent me. And I've got 1 squash that I have found growing. I don't know if it will get ripe before it gets too cold or not. We'll see. But I have a ton of flowers. I would think a lot more squash would be growing, but I just have that one. And this is the seeds. I believe they're spaghetti squash. I had saved the seeds from a commercial spaghetti squash I bought. And, excuse me. Like everything else, I planted like 3 or 4 seeds in here, and this is the only one that grew. And I have not seen any squashes growing. You can see, this is the same squash. There's used to have another runner, and it just died, or I forget, eaten up or something. I don't know. This isn't doing too good. So I'm not too hopeful of getting any spaghetti squash, and I love spaghetti squash. And my neighbor who likes kale and zucchini, and I've been able to share with her, she likes spaghetti squash, but I don't think we're going to be able to have a meal together of spaghetti squash this year. At least not of squash that, I grew. And the mint that decided to start growing here, even though I planted it in that bed, it's doing great. I think I need to cut some of these tall branches off of mint and maybe dry them or something. Do something with them. Boy, that mint smells. Oh my goodness, I can smell. Just moving those branches, I could smell this mint real well. But, yep, got that plant. I think that plant has, this year I wanted to make sure it survived. And it's done so well, and there is a leak. The pipe is there where it connects. There's definitely an area where there could probably, I'm assuming, is a leak. So, and that's watering it. But I actually water it sometimes too. And I'm just so happy with these. These plants look so good. Like, I may actually get some peas. I've tried growing peas in the past, and the plants never... Well, I've always tried in the spring, and it just gets too hot, and they bolt, and they don't give me a single pea. So I'm hoping this works better in the fall. So that's a quick update of how the garden is going. Where people up north may be, harvesting everything and getting their beds ready for winter. I'm still harvesting. I'm still going strong. I'm not thinking of, quitting. Now, I do know that the days are numbered. It won't, anytime in November, there could be a hard freeze. It has happened, but not every year. I could see a freeze in December. It's possible it happens, but I've also had Christmases that were in the 60s. So I don't know. One never knows. So we'll just see what happens, and I'll keep going until the weatherman says it's over with. So I hope you enjoyed this video and my little garden update, and you have a blessed day.